how they could start to better connect to an ambulance. And now, there's a very good reason, again, why you'd want to do that, because if you have a head trauma, and unfortunately, being a motorcyclist,
Sure.
you'll know this. If there's a golden hour that if you have a head trauma, then you've got to get some early stage information back to start treating that individual. But the time to bring someone back into a hospital, all of this sort of stuff, it can delay the treatment and therefore the recovery. So being able to connect to a paramedic while out in the field and provide some real-time data back to the hospital and start the treatment of that person, free up some of the necessary equipment, so when that person comes in, all of these things are beginning to play out, and that's happening today. We're having those conversations. Being able to stream high-definition video from that paramedic back to the hospital. All of these things are happening today, and it's like I say, it's an interesting area.
What's the slowdown, do you think, of it just not going everywhere? Because the technology is kind of there, right? It's the adoption from a lot of the companies and governments and stuff like that. And
Yep.
Because I love this stuff. If you could put a chip in me,
You would.
I would for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just sometimes I wonder, let's just get on with it.
Well, I think if you look back over time, I think one of the biggest barriers for almost any technology is traditionally down to culture. It's mindset change. It's being willing to embrace things, and certainly I see that a lot in a lot of organisations that I deal with. The want, the need to change. I think the same applies here. I think there is still a degree of concern, hesitancy around what exactly is it that I'm sharing if I'm connected, to your example, who has access to that. And I think the scenario that we have today, where if you sign up to an application or you sign up to a service, there's a set of T's and C's that in theory everyone reads but just ticks and accepts. That user interface is going to change. You're not necessarily going to have that ability up front, because if we live in that connected world, we're going to be moving seamlessly between one service to another, and so I think that element needs to change. But I think to me it's around the security question, and also it's around the governance of that data and the data and the sovereignty of who actually owns it. Arguably, at the moment, the pendulum is very much weighted towards the big organisations that are providing these services. And we get some benefit from that data that's being produced, but it's not huge. And I think we're beginning to see, we will see it more so over time, the pendulum swing back to you and I as individuals, how that data is ultimately used and what we want for that. Some cases it will be financial payback. In other cases it may be more altruistic. We want to do something a bit more with it. But I think we will see that pendulum swing back, and I think people will feel a bit more comfortable about what they do and how they do it.
What we've tried to do is cut all the shit and just focus on what really makes working better. We see ourselves as a hospitality business. Our team are hospitality people. We won Service Business of the Year last year. It's probably London's only zombie-proof building. So when the apocalypse comes, come to Whitechapel. We've got off-the-grid power from generators. We've got a satellite dish bringing the internet. You go upstairs, you've got a 140-person event space called the Innovation Loft. If you have an event and you want to put it on somewhere, come and see us. It's free.